That's what I wish more villains did in movies nowadays. Well done, Wonder Woman. You figured me out. That does not happen in the actual movie. This is going to be a spoiler-filled review, so for those of you who haven't seen the movie, you've been warned. By the way, in the last review, I've noticed there were quite a few technical mistakes, so it's all about improvement here, people. If you'll notice, I actually had Darth Vader over on my printer, but you couldn't really see him because my head was blocking him, so just shows you how well of blocking I've done. Here he is. He doesn't talk though. But Boba Fett here does. That was a fail. His switch wasn't turned on.
What if he doesn't survive? He's worth a lot to me. He's no good to me dead.
I would have loved to have been in one of those toy commercials back in the 90s.
As you wish.
Obviously, I'm a Star Trek fan, as well as an overgrown man-child. You're getting to know me, yay! A lot of critics and fans have been giving this movie a ton of praise, and in my opinion, it's rightfully deserved. If I could sum up the track record that the DC Cinematic Universe, or their extended universe, or whatever they're calling themselves nowadays, this is how they've been doing. You know what? I have a great idea. Just screw it. Let's just put everything, jam everything, all the references in our movies. It's a great idea, guys. And then Wonder Woman comes around and she's like, Wonder Woman! Just so you know, this is not going to be a drunk review, but a cold beer is quite refreshing right now. It's hot outside, guys. My main issue with the DC movies, starting with Man of Steel, is that all the heroes, they're just not developed well at all. This is why Marvel has always been ahead of DC, because they've always had really well-developed heroes, and they spent time to develop each of these characters. DC hadn't done a great job, and it seemed like at first that they're trying to just bring everyone all together to create the Justice League movie. I am so glad that Wonder Woman has basically disproven that plan, because she is just a well-developed character throughout this whole movie. Gal Gadot's Wonder Woman starts out very naive and innocent, and that's the result because she's been sheltered off from the outside world. And I thought that's such a great starting point for a character to flesh out and really grow. The chemistry between her and Chris Pine's Steve Trevor was also really great. They had a lot of great comedic moments between each other. I love how straightforward she is, where she'll be like, oh yeah, my mom sculpted me out of clay and Zeus gave me life. And then Steve is just like, okay. The scene in the trenches was probably my favorite, because that was where the movie was really starting to pick up. I love how they just built to that moment where she's just looking around and she's like, why can't we help these people? Because there's a guy who's injured, children and women are crying. You really feel that need where it's like you see someone so helpless, you want to help them. You want Diana to help these people, because in that situation it's like, you're there, why can't you help them? They're in the trenches and it's called no man's land or something like that, because no man has been able to cross that point. And then they tell her, no, you can't go out there. Of course, she takes off the cloak and she just walks right up there. And that was like, you see, that wasn't the ironic slow clap. That was actually me getting really giddy, where it's like, yes, we have a real badass here. For me, the only part that felt a little weird was when Ares finally revealed himself. And I admit, it was pretty surprising, because no one was really expecting the actor who plays Remus Lupin as Ares, but it just left me with a few questions. The whole backstory with Ares I actually like. I saw there were quite a few similarities between the Greek mythology and Christianity, where Zeus basically had a war with his own son, Ares, and then Zeus basically won and threw Ares down. And there are a few similarities with God and the devil in Christianity. I don't have an issue with Ares' backstory, but it's just weird how he basically inspires people to do these bad things, and he says, I'm not the one who started this war. Well, if you inspired people to do them, technically you are. So him functioning as the inspiration of evil didn't really surprise me so much, because I always figured that's what the god of war would do. If you're going to start a war, you need people to suddenly start creating bad things. Plus, if Diana killed Ares, and this is World War I, then does that mean World War II doesn't start at all in this universe? That part just seemed a little weird to me. Because the movie is saying that, like, yes, humans can be pretty evil, but there is also some hope in them. And if she killed the god who inspires that form of evil, then did Ares's evil continue to spread and linger with other men? I just wish the movie did a better job in explaining how Ares's power and inspiration really worked. Because if his power lingered in some of the other characters, and in theory all men, then that makes a little more sense. Because then we would still have wars and people fighting and creating a lot of hate. Aside from that, I really had a great time watching this whole movie. A lot of the action scenes and the acting are really great, but really it's the character's growth that made me really, really like this movie. This movie gives me hope that the DC Cinematic Universe can have really well-developed, fleshed-out characters in the Justice League. As far as origin stories go, this is leaps and bounds way better than Man of Steel. I think I personally like Batman Begins just a little bit more than Wonder Woman, but I could be biased because I am such a Batman fan. Even though I despise Batman v Superman, I really didn't mind how the story kind of fits in, because this movie is essentially a flashback during the time she's in Batman v Superman. I thought the way how the movie ended was really clever, and I really like how the filmmakers really paid attention to that detail. So the question is, do I recommend Wonder Woman? And of course, yes, I highly recommend Wonder Woman. Thank you all so much for checking out this video. I look forward to making another one for you guys. I'm not gonna totally throw away the idea of maybe one day doing a drunk movie review. I swear this is the same beer, guys. It's gotten kind of flat. And on that note, stay cool, you guys. Look forward to seeing you later. Bye.